Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Friday, September 27th, 2019.
Good morning, President James, Commissioners James, Cabello, and Caloza are present. We have President James, we have a quorum. May we please start with Bureau introductions, beginning with sanitation.
Good morning, Anita Fernandez, Bureau of Sanitation.
Good morning, Victor Tercios, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Adel Haj Khalil, Streets LA.
Gary Lee Moore, Bureau of Engineering.
Roosevelt Bagby, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
And we have one speaker card under item 3. We have no speaker cards under public comments, no neighborhood council commentary.
Okay, then we'll close general public comment as well as the neighborhood council category of commentary. And we will start this morning with our Recicla Star Award recognition. I will do that with sanitation, and let me grab all of my material. And I think, Heather, you have all the goodies, right? Okay. Yeah.
President James.
Does that work now? There we go. All right. Can you hear me now? Somebody should create a TV commercial like that.
We sure can.
About every quarter or so, we recognize during our Board of Public Works meetings outstanding members of the Recicla program that is led by sanitation. Since 2017, and we're doing that again today. It's always a great occasion when we are able to come together and do that. It's great to see such incredible progress being made really across the industry and across the city. Since 2017, all businesses in Los Angeles have been required to participate in Recicla for their waste and recycling service. This is the first time that all businesses in Los Angeles have had the opportunity to recycle. As part of the Recicla Star Awards, we do highlight the businesses that have gone above and beyond in their recycling efforts. And as we've been doing this over the past several months, we've just heard great success stories along the way. These are organizations that are setting an example for environmental stewardship in their various communities around town. We have two businesses here today that have earned the Recicla Star for their efforts in moving Los Angeles towards zero waste reality. Guess who? Guess was established in Los Angeles in 1981 by the Marciano brothers. So it's the Guess that you're thinking about. They left the south of France in pursuit of the American dream. Bloomingdale's was the first department store to welcome the brand by ordering 24 pairs of jeans. I'm sure they were happy with their decision when you look at all these years later. What an incredible story. They disappeared from the shelves in just hours. This was the first sign that this was the beginning of a real long success story in Los Angeles. When Guess joined the City of Los Angeles Recicla program in May of 2018, the majority of their recycling was done in their warehouse and their mailroom. They had a diversion rate of 18%. Today, Guess diverts 60% of their waste from landfills. On the first day of implementation of the Recicla program, Guess sent a memo to all associates asking for participation in their new Guess corporate recycling program. Remarkably, 75% of their employees signed up. Just a few components of the new program included replacing employees' personal trash cans with recycling bins. Trash bins were centrally placed, motivating employees to take extra steps to throw away their trash. Incentives were put in place in the cafeteria where employees used reusable dishes and were given points which could be turned in for various benefits and treats. Employees who brought their own reusable cups were given discounts on drinks. CalMet Services, Guess's recycler provider, nominated Guess because of their overwhelming eagerness and adaptation to the recycler program. Guess is currently working with CalMet's zero waste experts to add organics to their recycling program. It's going to be the first question I was going to have, and then there it is, right there on the second page. Guess just launched a Guess Eco Collection made with environmentally conscious materials and manufacturing processes using water-saving techniques and environmentally friendly practices. Guess employees created a giving and volunteer program called Guess Cares. And Guess Cares supports several causes, including Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation, it's for childhood cancer, Violence Intervention Program for victims of domestic violence, Cherished Hands Foundation for the enrichment for foster children, Heal the Bay Coastal Cleanups, and Project Night, which are care packages for homeless children. I'm honored to award Guess with a gold Recycler Star this morning. Great jean jacket. What brand is that? oh, wow. Okay. Oh, how cool. Hi, I'm Kevin.
Hi, Lorena.
Hi, Lorena. Nice to meet you.
Cecilia.
Hi, Cecilia. So, thank you. Let's
Beautiful
turn this
name.
way. It's not upside down. Was it upside down a minute ago? Fun one. Hayward. You go ahead.
We'd just like to thank CalMet for nominating us and also working with us. Their zero waste experts really advised this program, and the facilities team was integral to this effort on a day-to-day basis and also gave us great feedback and helped us improve the program. So it was really a group effort. So thank you.
Only one question. Is every Friday Jeans Friday?
Every day.
Every day is. That's what a great place to work. Anybody from CalMet? No. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Congratulations. Don't go far, though. We'll want to take a group photo. Congratulations, guests. Our next recipient today is Antigua Bread. Am I right about that? Okay. Antigua Bread opened in Highland Park in 2007. 3 siblings inspired by the love and care that their Guatemalan grandmother put into her food. And unfortunately, Commissioner Garcia, who's very close to the Guatemalan community, is in the valley today at Accessing LA. She would want to be here. But 3 siblings inspired by the love and care that their Guatemalan grandmother put into her food created a bakery to bring the same care and delicious recipes to Los Angeles. They had a dream to create a restaurant where it felt like home the moment you walked through the door. Today, Antigua Bread remains a tribute to the Guatemalan life where family tradition and quality food are of the utmost importance. Antigua Bread diverts 50% of their waste from landfills. Universal Waste Systems, Antigua Bread's recycling service provider, nominated them not only for their recycling efforts, but also for the ways that they prevent waste. Universal Waste praised Miguel Hernandez, one of the owners of Antigua Bread, as a champion of waste reduction. Maybe also were recognized for the incredible food that exists there. Antigua Bread succeeds in recycling and reducing waste by promoting reusable utensils, bundling, which, by the way, we would love to see more of that happening across the city, bundling recyclables in clear bags to make sure they are placed in the correct bins, collecting coffee grounds, that's source reduction, for use in gardening and composting. In addition to waste reduction, Antigua Bread invented an innovative way to reuse wastewater. They engineered a system to collect the condensation from their air conditioner to water a small green space they created in their parking lot. It also fills the bird bath. That from condensation from an air conditioner. Antigua Bread generally supports local organizations such as schools who hold events to better their neighborhood with baked goods and drinks. They make sure that none of their baked goods go to waste, always contributing food to employees at the end of the day. As another way of caring for their community, Antigua Bread is planning a Christmas party for the children in the neighborhood. Thank you for that. And we commend this family-owned business for all they do for their community and for being a local small business in the city of Los Angeles. I'm honored to award Antigua Bread with a green star in Recycler this morning. Would you like to say a word? Oh, let's get a photo. Make sure it's on the right side up. Okay. Oh, one more.
Morning, and thank you for the award and the nomination. This really was a group effort on everyone at Antigua because it took all of the employees to help make this dream come true. You know, the little garden that started as a little idea has spread to the houses of the employees, the owners ourselves. During the summer, we can take home on average 45 gallons a day of this wasted water that would have just dripped out into the road. We have a beautiful garden that people will just stop by and take pictures because it's beautiful and it's in a part of town that just seems so filled with buildings. So to be able to do this and honestly get recognized for it, it makes it just feel like we're doing the right thing. So thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Cabello, yes.
Thank you, President James. I just really want to quickly commend both Guess and Antigua for your efforts. What you're doing for clothing diversion, for food waste, for water recycling and reuse is just the most important thing you can do right now given the state of our climate crisis that we're in. So I just really want to personally commend you, and especially a locally owned Latino small business. I cannot say how much that touches me. So thank you so much for your efforts. And I think we're going to take a picture back here, so we'll recess for just a couple of minutes.
Okay, colleagues, I have one more presentation today. We're not that great at keeping a secret. But it is Commissioner Cabello's last day and final board meeting today. So I think, Cece, why don't we go around to the podium? So, colleagues, as I mentioned a moment ago, at least for all of you, it is has been known for a while that our Vice President Cecilia Cabello is leaving the city of Los Angeles to become the state director for the Mayor Pete Buttigieg for President campaign. If you didn't hear about it in the halls of City Hall, you read about it in one of the many news stories that it has garnered. There's understandably excitement and attention in the numerous news outlets. Even yesterday it was in the press clips because of another story that was done regarding your public residence in Echo Park. So your community is very excited about it, as are we. That said, we are also sad and never like to lose such a valuable asset to the city of Los Angeles, but we understand the growth that people have from the city, and Cecilia is someone who will take her unique and special, powerful talents to really the national stage, which it's not her first time there. And I am very excited to see what will be the fruits of her latest step onto the national stage. She, as you all know, has just been an incredible vice president of the Board of Public Works, and I want to be personal for just a moment. As someone, I would consider Cecilia my closest advisor, if I can even think of a different term, the entire time that I've been in city service, which is now in year 7. We started working together in 2013 before the general election took place. We were even working together in the general after the primary, but before Mayor Garcetti took office as mayor. And we've really been in close contact every day since. And Cecilia, sometimes closer contact than others, as she has war stories to tell that I never knew were going on until after the fact, regarding the eventful day in July of 2013, which was our Board of Public Works Confirmation Day. Commissioner Davis was there on the Board of Public Works that day. It was an interesting confirmation hearing. And I said thank you when then Vice President of our board, Heather Repenning, left over a year ago to Cecilia and Heather. Cecilia was in the room. Then Heather was leaving to run for public office for the work that they had done on my behalf. And today I get to say thank you again to Cecilia. She's heard me say it before, but I'm in a public arena. I'm going to say it again. Thank you. This has been my most treasured job that I've had in a very diverse career, and the work that you have done, Cecilia, even that day to get me here, I'll never forget. So thank you for that. Thank you for the loyalty, the honesty, the advice, the criticism, and everything that comes along with it. And most notably, thank you for the friendship. That said, let me speak a little bit more now broadly for the Board of Public Works. Cecilia, when she was nominated and came onto the Board of Public Works, is somebody who, and I know this is one of the reasons that the Mayor Pete campaign wanted her as their state director for the most important state in the country, obviously, is because she can step in on day one, sometimes even before day one, because of her experience, and hit the ground running. I know that term is used as a cliche, but with Cecilia, it is real. She did that with the Board of Public Works for for Commissioner Davis and I and for the rest of the board and the officers of the board, it's incredibly valuable to have someone in that role who knows how and has worked with really every outside governmental entity that we have to deal with. And Cecilia was that person, that professional for more years than she might even want to admit. But she is the consummate professional when it comes to managing the political entities that we have to deal with, most notably and to our greatest benefit, the City Council of the City of Los Angeles. So, Cece, we are going to miss you greatly. I am going to miss the knocking. Our doors, those of you that haven't been in our offices, they're amazing offices built in 1928, obviously for the Board of Public Works, since the board was in place before this building was built. We have interior doors, as many of the other offices do, and the interior door to my office is with the Vice President of the Board of Public Works, and it's always a nice thing to hear in the morning when I get in, hearing the knock coming from Cece, because whatever we're going to talk about or cover, it's always just a welcome event of the day, and it happens more than once a day, and I'm really, really going to miss that. I sense that, and I mentioned it to her before, that she'll miss it too, a little bit when she's on the national stage. But we will be in close touch, and it's going to be very exciting to see what Cece does next with this campaign. I do want to read the certificate because it references some of Cece's great history and success here in City Hall. Certificate of Appreciation, the Board of Public Works honors Cecilia Cabello. On behalf of the City of Los Angeles, the Department of Public Works thanks you for the commitment, compassion, and incredible energy that you have brought to your work with the city. From legislative deputy to director of intergovernmental relations, and most recently as the vice president of the Board of Public Works, you have richly improved the lives of Angelinos. Your unwavering dedication to equity and justice are inspiring and deeply appreciated. And Cece, we had a word limit regarding the size, but the amount of work that you've done over the years, we tried to encapsulate it as best we could in our work, in our word limit. All I can say is thank you again, and best wishes for an incredible future ahead, and we look forward to the days ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner James. And before you comment, CC, I want to just say how refreshing it has been to work with you. When I think about CC, I think about a Columbia graduate who has come to the city of Los Angeles and invariably is a role model for women in leadership in City Hall. She has been an asset to Mayor Eric Garcetti's office, not just as mayor, but even when he was councilman, and also specifically when he was president of the council, she had a significant role in his organization. She has provided outstanding service administratively to the city of Los Angeles. And I think that her role also as chief of staff for the controller's office is of note as well. And when we look at her external work that she has done, she's really challenged America to be all it can be. We have areas of growth that we still need to work on. And a part of those is inclusion. And in terms of looking at women in leadership, CC was a part of a coalition of individuals to help work to make sure we had the first woman nominee of a major party. We want women, we say they're included, but the true test is, are we willing to elect them to lead us? And here yet again, she is taking on yet another challenge, is to see if in fact we really do believe what we say when we talk about gender diversity and when we talk about sexual orientation and all of those things. And in terms of her work, we know that the work that she is doing challenges all of America to be what it can be. So CC, I thank you. It's been a pleasure. You're really my alter ego. I like to take my time and look and figure it out. and CC likes to get straight to the point and do it right now. And so it's been very, very refreshing to serve on both ends of the spectrum from this board, to make sure that we do both of those things. And then finally, I know that our leaders in sanitation and street services and engineering and others will have something to say about your leadership. And most of all, as we conclude, how appropriate as you take on this venture for organizational change that you do it during Latino Heritage Month. So thank you, and we look forward to seeing the great things that you're going to be doing in the very, very near future.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Caloza.
Thank you, President James. What can I say? We are so lucky to have you and for you to be of service to the city for as long as you have been, from what Commissioner Davis outlined, from the mayor's office to your work on city council to here at the board. You know, the city has truly benefited, and so many people's lives are better because you are a fearless advocate for the Latino community, for the LGBTQ community, and really for the immigrant communities. You know, you push the bureaus and push public works to really do the right thing. And, you know, we have benefited greatly from your friendship, from your wisdom, and just, you know, your expertise that you bring to bear serving in all the roles that you have. You know, we'll truly miss you. You know, we're going to be rooting for you and are going to be cheering for you and seeing what exciting things Mayor Pete's going to be doing as a result of having you on his team. And we know you're going to make him an even better candidate by having you in his corner. So he's very lucky to have you. We are very lucky to have you, and just know that you have a fan base here at City Hall. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Caloza. And let me just say, I know I'm not supposed to speak twice in these things, but I did change locations. So I do want to add this on Commissioner Garcia's behalf. So two things. One, on Commissioner Garcia's behalf. CC, you know, I witnessed it, and, you know, I know that you and Commissioner Garcia developed a great friendship and working relationship. You knew each other from before. And she wanted me to express for her in the public arena that we had this morning how much she's going to miss you, but how she looks forward to staying in touch and seeing what you do next and knowing that you're never going to be far away. But it was, she was real torn. I mean, she had to do accessing LA this morning, but really wanted to be here this morning, so I wanted to pass that along for Commissioner Garcia. And let me just say that, you know, the last time that I saw Mayor Pete Buttigieg in person, I was standing right next to Cece, right, shoulder to shoulder. And just from my perspective, and Cece, you know how I feel about your work for our collective community, the work that you've done for the LGBT community. You're on the board of Equality California, which is, and a leader on that board. But I also wanted to say that it means a lot to me, and I'm speaking for a community that I've been a part of my entire adult life. No matter who people support, political party otherwise, or in the Democrat Party for the presidential race, Mayor Pete's historic candidacy means the world to our community, and it means a great deal that you're taking a historic position in the largest state in the union on that campaign. And thank you for what you will do in that campaign. And that said, I want to go next to, we'll start at my right with our city engineer, Gary Lee Moore.
Well, Commissioner CC, I got to start working with you in great detail and with Mayor Garcetti, and your passion for the environment is something that I respect, and that has to do with the transformation of the Los Angeles River and your advocacy and in those meetings. And I love what Commissioner Davis said about the way you work. It's near and dear to my heart to get in, get out. So we had many brief meetings, and I felt it was wonderful. It was in, it was out, we both communicated. And you know, you talk about complex issues, and revitalization of the Los Angeles River is definitely a complex issue. But you know, you taught me how important it is when we went to Washington. You've got seconds, and you have to be able to convey the passion that this city has back in Washington for the revitalization. So I always will remember that. And then we got to work a little bit in the controller, and then finally here in the board. And for me and the board, you're passionate about transparency, that these documents that we prepare, that we call board reports or motions, not anymore motions, a little inside baseball there about, but it's all about having them complete and transparent and timeless. So that if somebody comes back in a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, they don't have to have been present at the meeting, that the history is there. This great city, almost 4 million people, count on this board and the bureaus to deliver quality public works. And your passion for doing that is something that I appreciate. And for all of us in the Bureau of Engineering, we wish you the best of luck. Your leadership is, we see it and respect it, and best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Adel Haj Khalil, our General Manager of Streets LA.
Great. It's kind of sweet and hard at the same time. I know Cece, I've known her for a while and a long time, and the mayor's office and the controller, but really we got to know each other well at the board, and we connected right away. And really, we share the same thing. We don't have patience for stuff. We want to get stuff done, and really want to get things moving forward. And we just connected, and she became a good friend and a great advisor. But we could say anything, talk about anything, and really want to make a difference. And we dealt, and we actually transformed our relationship with trees together. Really start shaping how we can really engage the public and the community. I'm glad that some of the CFAC members are here and are present. But really it's about serving the community, serving everyone, and how we are working and to really make Los Angeles a great city that it is, and even more, but maybe make our system and our city, our streets world class, and make it safe and mobile and resilient. But one thing that you really championed that we all shared is equity and environmental justice, and really being the voice for the folks that don't speak out. Really wanted always to make sure you reminded all of us that there's people out in the city working 2 jobs, don't have the time to do 311 calls, don't have the time to come to a hearing, to counsel, that we also owe it to them to serve them well. So the voice of the people that needs to be heard, whether they speak it or not, and you are the voice. I want to say thank you for also being a champion for the people that do not get a chance to speak about their issues, and you were the champion for that. And I know my team loves you. I know Keith is here. Keith, if you would come up also, if you don't mind. When Commissioner James, we love Commissioner James, Kevin was a dear friend and great supporter for our street services at Streets LA. But when we had the privilege to serve under the Commissioner Cabello, I said, great. I had the best 2, 3, 4, 5 commissioners. Any of you would be great. But she was amazing. We connected right away. We were able to kind of move things. And every person that you met from the staff, they left with an impression that, wow, she appreciates us, but also she wants to get things done. She doesn't care for, barriers. Let's figure out how we can get over them and get things done. Because the mayor wants us to really think outside the box, to really serve our community better and provide basic services for all. We changed our mission in Streets LA. A lot of it has to do with you, whether you know it or not. Our mission now is enhancing the quality of life for all. This is our mission. It's not just making streets safe, not paving. It's enhancing the quality of life for all, because that's what public works is all about. All of us here are for providing that, and you had a lot to do with that. So I want to thank you. So as my commissioner, I think I'm going to take the most time. So I'm gonna. So let me give it to Keith. It's a, it's a, it's a tree that came down during the winds that we are now reusing. It's not a tree that we took down. It's, I just want to make sure it's a tree that came down and we want to reuse it as part of sustainability. I just want to make sure people know that. But one thing I want to do is any tree that comes down, I want to be able to distribute this and have people have it as a coffee table, whatever you want to do with it. It's part of our new innovative sustainability. But I want to read something that we wrote, all of us, for you. On behalf of the women and men of Streets LA, thank you, Commissioner Cecilia Cabello, for being a champion for equity, environmental justice, and quality service for all Angelenos across our city. You're the advocate for better life for all. Streets LA was proud to deliver innovative programs and services under your guidance, leadership, and vision. I'm proud to announce that the last completed project in Streets LA under Cecilia's watch is the Migrants Bend project near the birth of our city at the intersection of Cesar Chavez and Spring Street. The Migrants Bend and the Becerro Monument honors the contribution of immigrants to the history of Los Angeles and celebrates the journey of the hardworking Mexican immigrants, the Becerros, who worked in U.S. farms, mines, and railroads during and after World War II. The monument has mature California oak trees, native oak trees, among the largest we ever planted. And also it includes local coast live oak and delicious, or I said delicious now, and valley oak, which will provide shade in summer and let the sunshine come in the winter. Cecilia, you were our tree, giving us life, shade, and sunshine. You'll always be our hero, and most importantly, you'll always be our friend. On behalf of the men and women of Streets LA, thank you and best of luck.
You have one more?
In case you get upset, I'm going to come and give you that one. So this is the hockey puck. So this is a hockey puck. She didn't want to wear my pen, lapel pen. I don't know why, but but so I had to find something else. I had to find something else that she would carry. So this is a piece of the City of Los Angeles streets. It's an asphalt street, real asphalt street. You have now. You have a piece of the streets. Yeah. So you have to pave it, take care of it. It's all your responsibility now. Don't let me. And then it has our Streets LA logo. And it's both serves as a remembrance of what we do, but also it's a weapon in case you get upset at something. So enjoy it, and we love you.
Before you speak, will you hold up the tree thing so I can? I missed that shot. Got it.
All right, okay. Wow. That was
Commissioner Cabello.
Thank you very much, President James. It was unexpected and overwhelming and very touching, and thank you all so much. I'm going to make it short as possible and as sweet as possible. We still got business. I got a motion of mine to pass, so let's go. As Adele and Gary said, I cut straight to the chase. I've been in and out of this building since 2005, and I thought I knew everything about the city there is to know. I know how to get anything passed, anything done, but I really didn't until I came here to the board, learning about the infrastructure of our great city, what it takes to keep the city running, where the rubber literally hits the road. Bridges, buildings, trash, water, everything that we do, street lights. It's incredible, and it never really ceases to amaze me how hard our employees work, how dedicated our staff is, how dedicated we all are, and as a team, what we can achieve daily. So thank you so much for teaching me all of that. It's been incredible. To my colleagues, and thank you all, of course, our amazing general managers, especially Streets LA and engineering. because they showed up. And so you're my favorites, especially Streets LA. Thank you for your friendship and your guidance and your support throughout the years, not just on the board, but for the entire time that I've been in the city and that I've known you. You guys have been amazing, and I've loved working with you. And I just wish we had longer together, Adele. It was awesome, and I will never, ever forget what I've learned. And suddenly I'm this crazy environmentalist who drives an electric car, loves trees. I'm a tree hugger, who knew? And I think about plastics constantly, and no plastic straws. It's just incredible what you learn and how your work can influence your daily life, and it's really changed the way I function in life, so that's been incredible. And my colleagues, everyone from the PAO to all the staff on the bureaus to the board folks, Fernando and TJ, Ted, everybody, thank you for your patience, most of all, because I do ask a lot of questions, but I try to do my homework and make them relevant and make them further a point. But for your friendship and support as well, it means the world to me. My comadres and compadres on the board, you're like brothers and sisters to me, Aura and Jessica, Mike and Kevin. I needed your friendship and guidance, and you were never, ever not there for me, especially Kevin, who I call my work husband. I stole that term from Heather. I don't care. But one of my best friends in the world, and I adore you. Back in 2005, when I first started with then council member, before he was council president, Eric Garcetti, he taught me, take a look at the round of the table. Every table you're at, you're going to be making important decisions. Ask yourself, who's not at the table? And those are the people that you're representing. And it is through that lens that I do all of my work, and that my work means so much to me. So thank you, Adele, for pointing out the equity issue. Thank you, of course, to the mayor's office, but most importantly and finally, I need to thank Mayor Garcetti and his chief of staff, Ana Guerrero, for the opportunity to serve Angelinos and to make a difference in their lives, hopefully, every day. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate it.
So we are going to take just a brief recess for some photographs, and then we'll come back to our regular agenda item. And Elena and Gary and everybody and I want to do two sets, one with the certificate and one with the bark. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Let's go to agenda item number 2. Streets LA tree removal today, Council District 5 at 1255 North Angelo Drive. Recommending that the board find that the project is categorically exempt under Article 3, Section 1, Class 32 of the city's Environmental Quality Act guidelines. There is no substantial evidence that the proposed project will have a significant effect on the environment and is in compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act at CEQA. Secondly, find that none of the exceptions to the use of a categorical exemption as set forth in Section 15300 of state CEQA guidelines apply. Third, specify that Streets LA Urban Forestry Division, located at 1149 South Broadway, is custodian of the documents or other material that constitute the record of proceedings upon which the board's decision is based. And 4, review and approve the request for a fee permit to remove 4 coast live oak trees. Tree replacements are required. Mr. Benuelos on number 2. And Hector, would you do me a favor and just there's my pen is on that podium. It's my favorite pen. Would you pass that down along this way?
Thought somebody left me a gift.
Yeah, but I like the ink in this one, though. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yes, good morning, President James, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, City Attorney, and Executive Officer Hector Banuelos with the Streets LA Urban Forestry Division. What we have before us is a request for a fee tree removal permit to remove 4 coast live oak trees for construction of a single-family residence at 1255 North Angelo Drive in the community of the Bel Air, Beverly Crest area community. The property at the location measures approximately 158,000 square feet, and the proposed residence will have approximately 17,400 square feet of residential floor area. All right, the location has steep to moderate topography and is going to require some slope stability measures in order to construct the home. There are 4 oak trees that will be impacted by the required grading and slope stability measures and do require removal pursuant to a letter written by the Los Angeles Department of Building and Safety and the request of the applicant. If approved, the applicant will plant or shall plant 16 48-inch box-sized coast live oak trees on the property and will bond the trees for a period of 3 years. The Department of City Planning determined that the project is category exempt pursuant to the California Environmental Quality Act guidelines. The 5th Council Office, and the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment and the Community Forestry Advisory Committee were notified of the tree removal permit. Any questions?
Okay. Any questions at all on this one? And Hector, how many trees again, just for the record?
There are 4 trees that requested to be removed.
Big property, obviously. Angelo Drive, all those lots are huge.
Very large property.
A lot of famous estates up there. So all the tree replacements are happening on site?
Yes. Yes, there's plenty of room to accommodate the trees.
Okay.
And there are large box-sized trees as well.
All right. No other questions? I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 2. We don't have any other opposition. Seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Hopefully they'll plant lots of trees on that property. They've got room. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Any issue sending number 2 forthwith? We will send number 2 forthwith.
Thank you.
Agenda items 1 and 3 essentially go together. One is our policy number 798 for occupant notification requirement for installation of above ground facilities. I'm going to call both of these items together, and then I'm going to yield to our Vice President Cabello for just kind of deciding in what order we want to take these. Item number 1, policy number 78, occupant notification requirement for installation of above ground facilities. And I know that we have a speaker card as well. Recommending that the board first adopt formal requirements to notify occupants of the proposed installation of above ground facilities that require a permit from the Bureau of Engineering under the AGF ordinance established by Los Angeles Municipal Code section 62.08, Secondly, direct the Bureau of Engineering to incorporate the notification requirements recommended herein into the AGF application review process for new applications received by the Bureau of Engineering after 30 days from the adoption of the report. And third, direct the Bureau of Engineering to report back to the Board of Public Works within 6 months after the adoption of the report. And then on agenda item number 3, it's a notification to renters and property owners regarding above-ground facility installations in the public right-of-way, recommending that the board instruct the city engineer to require all AGF applicants to notify property owners and/or occupants of any impacted property in accordance with Los Angeles Municipal Code Section 62.08, subsection 3, and continue to report on how applicants demonstrate technical or financial infeasibility and that, quote, all reasonable alternatives have been exhausted, close quote, before the board considers any financial hardships and or waivers of the AGF installations. Before I turn it over to Commissioner Cabello, I know this is something that Commissioner Cabello, since her first introduction on the board of our above-ground facility process, this has been something that she has been interested in. And I know of at least one partner that you enlisted in Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Cabello. So with that, I'll turn it over to you on agenda items 1 and 3.
Thank you, President James. So just very simply and plainly for anyone who might be listening and for the public in general, items 1 and 3 are related. They're both related to the basics of it are notifying tenants when an above-ground facility, meaning a monopole or anything that has wireless equipment for our telecom companies, is going to be put in, notifying tenants of buildings, and we'll get into the specifics later, or whether they be business occupants or actual living tenants in those buildings, to be notified when these are going to be installed. I'll say a little bit more about it later. Item 1 is the actual policy we'll be adopting. Item 3 is the motion that I put in with Commissioner Garcia. But let's do this in order, Mr. President, if you don't mind. We'll take up the public comment card, and then we'll call up Mr. Allen to give the report, and then I'll say a few words after that.
Great. Okay, thank you. Our representative from Verizon Wireless. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you all. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to address the board today. My name is Daisy Weekenbam from Verizon Wireless. I'm here on items 1 and 3, and just basically here to say thank you to the commissioners, Commissioner Garcia and Cabello, as well as the staff at BSL and BOE, for working with the industry in inviting input and collaboration specifically on this policy. And we look forward to continuing that collaboration in 6 months when BOE reports on the impact and the feedback that maybe we will get back from the residents as well as from the staff on how it impacts their work, our work, and collaboratively we can come up with future solutions if needed. So we just want to say thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Mr. Allen. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, President James, Commissioners. It's especially appropriate that this is coming today on Commissioner Cabello's last day because she's worked so hard on this.
And no pressure, Mr. Allen. The city engineer is sitting right here.
I know.
That's right next to the author of the motion. Go ahead.
Commissioner Cabello first raised this issue that I'm aware of last December of last year. And the length of time that it's taken to get this here is not reflective of people not doing work, because we've been working very hard behind the scenes, but working with industry to find a compromise to bring a policy before you, propose policy that balances the intent of getting notifications to occupants with trying to do it with the least impact as possible to industry and trying to find that balance. And we believe we've done that. So I'll start by giving a little bit of background. The Above Ground Facilities Ordinance, and I won't make it super long, don't worry. The Above Ground Facilities Ordinance requirements are located in Section 6208 to 62.10 of the Los Angeles Municipal Code. I believe we have a typo in our board report. I believe the notification requirements are 62.08. Roman numeral 8.d, and I think we accidentally have a 7.d. But in any case, there's a notification requirement in as part of that. part of that ordinance requires that we notify certain lots, and it uses the term lots, adjacent lots, abutting lots across the public way. It doesn't say whether it's the owners or occupants of the lots, but it's been the city's practice to notify the owners of the lots. That certainly, satisfies the municipal code in our opinion, but it doesn't mean that's the only way to satisfy it. And so the issue that Commissioner Cabello and Commissioner Garcia raised was, should we also be notifying occupants, or we believe we should be also notifying occupants. And so that's been, what we've been working on these last months. And which occupants and what is the process. It's much more complex notifying occupants because there's no single database of occupants like there is of owners. We have county ownership records, very easy to go to those. Occupants, you don't know necessarily what units may be on the site and whatnot. So we've done a lot of work to work out the details of what this process would be, which occupants would be notified. So the proposal before us is, or before you, I'm sorry, is that there's 2 notices as a part of this process. One goes to the owners right at the start of the process, just letting them know the process is starting. The Bureau of Engineering reviews the application. Oftentimes the application may get changed somewhat based on input from engineering, may not move forward. Once the Bureau of Engineering makes our own determination of whether we're going to recommend approval, some we approve directly, some require Board of Public Works approval, so we make a determination of what our recommendation will be. At that time, a second notice goes out. So early drafts of this policy, we met with the utility industry. We had a few series of meetings. The board report contains some of the concerns they had at their time. We met with them, made adjustments. We've, I believe, alleviated all of those concerns, as you heard from Verizon. Part of that change is that this proposal will propose that the occupants will be notified only as part of the second notification. Because the first notification, it may or may not even be moving forward in that way at that time. So part of balancing, not adding too much more burden on the industry with more mailings is they will be notified once we know if we're even going to recommend moving forward at that time. The policy also recommends notifying occupants of only the adjacent and the directly across the street lots, not quite as many lots as we do with the ownership, because those are the ones most directly impacted. It also has some provisions if those lots have more than 50 units that they can work with the property owner, the property managers to have some kind of central posting instead of mailings. And it also allows for those mailings to the occupants to be regular first-class mail instead of registered mail. So those were some of the items that we kind of balanced out to have a process, a policy that would make occupants aware should they want to exercise their rights to appeal under the AGF ordinance. The AGF ordinance allows interested parties to appeal, not just owners. So they will be aware of it, but at the same time, it's in a way that we believe does not add very much burden to the utilities. So we think it's crafted a very good balance in that regard. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions. There's obviously more detail about the background in the report, but I think that summarizes pretty well the policy.
No, I just have a couple of comments. Sure. So a lot of work went into this.
Yes.
This is something that, well, I know, but I really, I want to acknowledge that. These are not easy things to do. No. This affects a lot of people. And I want to really put an exclamation point on this for Commissioners Cabello and Garcia, because you all really, and I think in sports analogies, it's just the way I was wired. You guys really carried this over the goal line here.
We did.
But you succeeded.
As time was expiring.
Yeah. But there's a lot of preparation, a lot of research. And when just the motion and then the policy, when you read it and you realize you kind of have to fit a lot of sometimes round holes into, with square pegs, and You have to find ways to make it work, and it affects an industry. It affects stakeholders and companies that we work with. It affects city services, people that, this is stuff that affects their ability to communicate every single day with their kids, their ability to work, everything. And so this was a big deal. It was a long time coming, and it really helps the board modernize, and we are this big, large department that's part of a larger government, the second largest municipal government in the country. In many ways, we're the largest. To do this kind of work, this is a large part of the reason this board was created in 1906. So thank you to Commissioners Cabello and Garcia for leading this effort. Look, we will have we'll hit some speed bumps along the way. It's a new policy. It takes some getting used to. And we're going to learn some things. But I really want to appreciate the work and let you all know, and the folks at engineering, your team, Gary and Ted, that when our commissioners come up with these ideas representing the folks that aren't at the table that Commissioner Cabello just talked about, it takes a lot of work to get there, but it's the right thing to do. And I also want to thank Daisy. I want to thank you and Shannon and I see Noel here too. And Sam Martinez for your work. Because I know it's important stuff, but it's more work for everybody. But it's the right thing to do. It's why we're here. So I want to just appreciate everybody for that. Thank you, Commissioner Davis.
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm in summary, basically this notification ensures that renters also now will be notified when we have these requests. Is that basically it in a nutshell?
That's correct. For the adjacent lot and the across the street, directly across the street lot, all of the occupants, so renters, leasees, whoever the occupants are.
Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Cabello.
Thank you, President James. Just to kind of sum up, the whole purpose of this is to notify people who are impacted. That's all. It's very simple. The purpose may be simple, the implementation is clearly not. So, of course, I have a million shout outs, starting with Gary, with Ted, Ramsey, we before him, Tanat, everyone who helped in the Bureau of Engineering side. Thank you so much for your help and your patience with me with my kooky ideas and extra work that we really didn't need to do, but I felt we did, so thank you. Of course, big shout out to Commissioner Garcia, who couldn't be here today, for her deep knowledge of the community, her involvement in AGFs, and her guidance and her leadership as well in this. And of course, to all the folks I worked with who came to my meetings, came when I called, asked for your input, and you gave it. All of the folks that were given a shout out by Kevin, Shannon, Daisy, Sam, Noel, everyone else from the various utilities and telecom companies. Because as I told them, I'm not trying to punish you. I need a phone. I want everyone to have as much access to communication as possible. It was never about limiting access or punishing or trying to make it more difficult for you to do your work, which is why I wanted to talk to the companies to begin with. It was about how do we do it together and just make it something that's not impossible to implement and reasonable for you, but also gets to the goals of what I had, which was let's just tell people who are going to be impacted by it. And that reason is important to me because I grew up in a place, and my family's from a place of what I like to call thoughtless infrastructure, places where people just put things in. Who it impacts was an afterthought. This is not the people I'm talking here. I mean, just generations of it. My family was displaced by freeways and, the impacts of that, whether it's air pollution, bad water, bad soil, all of that is the result of not people trying to aim at underserved communities, but just being thoughtless about it. And given the position I've been in, I wanted to be thoughtful, even if it's about one small thing, notifying a tenant that a pole's going up in front of your house. I wanted to be thoughtful, as I said earlier, following what Mayor, then Council Member Garcetti taught me is who isn't at the table and how can I best represent them and serve them when I'm in a position to do so. So with that, thank you all so much for your work on this. I really appreciate the team effort, everyone indulging me in my desire to make things just a little bit better for everyday Angelinos. And with that, I move my motion.
That was a second by Commissioners Davis, James, and Caloza. Cabello's motion, obviously. With that, so that's the order. Any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send agenda items both, 1 and 3. The motion was made on both, seconded on both, and confirmed on both, forthwith on both. Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Thank you. If I could just add real quickly, since Gary was here to pull rank and do the official speech.
Yes, please.
It's been a pleasure working with you, and we're going to miss you. And I really enjoyed working with you through this process. So all the best.
Thank you all. Agenda item, we have a couple of oral reports this morning. Let's go ahead and take care of our streets status update on major upcoming street improvements from Streets LA this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, President Kevin James, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, City Attorney, and Executive Secretary. I'm Nick Berrigan with Streets LA. In order to keep the public informed on all upcoming resurfacing projects and to minimize the impact on the community as well as the delays to the commuters, Streets LA would like to provide you with an update on all major upcoming street improvement projects. The following projects are scheduled in the Metro Resurfacing region. On Saturday, September 28, 2019, from 6:30 a.m. to 3 p.m., we'll call meal, and on Sunday, September 29, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., we'll pave Slauson Avenue from the city limits east of Ealing Avenue to the city limits west of Buckler Avenue. The funding is PPP for a paving preservation program. In CD8, Parmexa Heights, Neighborhood Council 80. On Saturday, October 5th, 2019, and on Sunday, October 6th, 2019, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., we'll cold mill and pave York Boulevard from Eagle Rock to Fillion Street. The funding is PPP. CD14 in Glassell Park, Eagle Rock, Neighborhood Council number 39. The following projects are scheduled for the Valley Resurfacing region. On Saturday, September 28, 2019, and Sunday, September 29, 2019, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., we'll cold mill and pave Victory Boulevard from Sepulveda Boulevard to Bluchers Avenue. Funding is PPP in CD6, and it's in the Van Nuys Neighborhood Council number 20. On Saturday, October 5th, 2019, and Sunday, October 6th, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., we'll call meal and pay Partinia from Independence Avenue to Canoga Avenue. The funding is PPP. It's in CD3, Canoga Park Neighborhood Council number 13. We have press releases have been broadcasted, work notifications have been issued, and Streets LA has coordinated with the council district offices to assist with the outreach to stakeholders, and we coordinated with the Los Angeles Department of Transportation for traffic control assistance. This concludes my report. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Berrigan. Any questions? Nice job, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the board. Our oral report on monthly status of contracts expiring within 90 days. Let's start with sanitation.
Good morning, Commissioner James, Commissioners, Bureau Representative, City Attorney, and Assistant Executive Officer. For this monthly status report for LA I am Nancy Lanton from LA Sanitation. For this month, Sanitation does have 4 contracts expiring within the next 120 days. Out of those 4 contracts, 1 will be renewed. The contract that will be renewed is for responsible biosolids management that expires November 14th, 2019. That's for the loading, transportation, and beneficial use of our city biosolids. Sanitation will exercise a 3-year renewal option in this contract. Three of the contract expiring this month will not be renewed. The first one is with ABB Inc. That contract expires this coming September 30th, 2019. It's for control systems support. That contract is no longer needed due to the new wastewater control systems replacement project. The second contract that will not be renewed is with Pacific Sewer Maintenance Corporation and Route Tamers. That contract expires November 12th, 2019 for sewer root control treatment. Sanitation is executing a new contract with a new selected proposer for that. And the third contract that will not be renewed is with West Coast Rendering. That contract expires November 30th, 2019 for dead animal processing and recovery services. Sanitation intends to issue a letter of agreement to continue services with that vendor while sanitation develops a contingency plan for the disposal of carcasses. And that concludes my monthly report this month. Any questions?
No, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Thank you from sanitation. Engineering. Let me ask, I don't want to open up a whole, Ryan, let me ask one more question of sanitation real quick. I don't want to open up a whole can of worms, but I do just want to confirm on the record regarding the rendering services that you referenced a moment ago. The Bureau is satisfied with our ability to continue to go forward and with those services, correct? We're doing month to month right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. And if we need to alter that in the future, then we'll be prepared to do so.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Tolles, go ahead.
Good morning, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, City Attorney, Executive Officer. My name is Ryan Tolles. I'm with the Bureau of Engineering, and I'm here today to give an update on the status of personal services contract due to expire between October 1st, 2019 and December 31st of 2019. So we have a total of 3 pre-qualified on-call contracts that have expiration dates within this period, and I'll go one by one to give an update. So the first one is the final design services and design support for the 6th Street Viaduct project. Currently, there's an amendment to extend the contract to 9/30 of 2023, as well as increase the contract ceiling from 30 to 33 million. And it's currently with the mayor and council awaiting execution. And the firm on that contract is H&TB Corporation. The next pre-qualified on-call contract we have is the architectural as-needed services for various public works projects. Currently, there's a board report being prepared to request a term extension for all of the subcontracts in that group, which is 9 firms. And the last one we have is the pre-qualified on-call contract for bridge, civil, engineering, and design support services for street and bridge-related projects. A new list of is being created at this time, so these contracts will be archived upon their expiration date towards early November. And that concludes the report. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Tolles? No questions for Mr. Tolles. Thank you, sir. Moving right along this morning, I think that's all. We don't have any from Streets LA this quarter. We have meeting minutes this morning from Wednesday, September 8th, 2019. My motion for approval is seconded by Commissioner Cabello. Any objections? Mr. Knight, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, we have, President.
All right, then this morning we adjourn with a final thank you to Vice President Cabello for your great service to the city of Los Angeles, and we will talk to you soon. We are adjourned this morning.